When I was growing up, one of the many lessons that my parents taught me was to own your own mistakes, own your own behavior. If you make a mistake, own it. Don't lie and try to cover it up because it only makes things worse. Most of the time, the cover up is worse than the initial crime. I grew up in the suburbs. Many of my friends, they had parents that covered for the mistakes of their kids. When they got in trouble, their kids were never at fault. It was always the fault of someone else. Now, fortunately for me, well, I didn't think it was fortunate at the time. I thought it sucked. But as an adult looking back on it now, fortunately for me, my parents always blamed me when I got in trouble. They didn't blame the people that I was with. They didn't blame teachers. They didn't blame the cops because they knew when I got in trouble, it was usually always my fault and I was probably the ringleader. What happens when you raise kids to never take the blame, to never own their own mistakes? It creates a sense of entitlement, it creates an atmosphere when bad things happen, it's never your fault. No one watches the WNBA. It's hate against women. Men can't stand to see female athletes prevail. No, people don't watch the WNBA because the product is absolute shit. The league is in the entertainment business and they're unentertaining. NBA ratings the past 2 years set record lows. It's cord cutting. It's racism. White people hate to see black athletes succeed. No, people quit watching the NBA. When I say people, I am talking about all people. Black, white, Hispanic, whatever the fuck. People quit watching the NBA because the league created the woke sea and immediately sunk itself to the bottom of it. When you blame everyone but yourself for your problems, the only person that you're hurting is yourself because it limits your ability to grow. How do we learn? We learn from our own mistakes. If you're always blaming someone else, essentially creating a narrative where you never make a mistake, how in the hell can you grow? The short answer is you can't. What this thinking also does, it creates a victim mentality. Look at these people calling me out for something that's not my fault. They are forcing me to get Botox to get rid of the wrinkles caused by my hideous looking cry face. I'm about to give you 2 real-life examples of what I'm talking about. Let's start with Major League Baseball. How many of you have heard of Angel Hernandez? Now, the reason I ask that question, if you're an umpire in Major League Baseball, no one should know who you are. I have a lot of diehard baseball fans in my audience, and I know every one of you have heard of Angel Hernandez. Hell, even I know who he is, and I haven't been a regular viewer of Major League Baseball in over 10 years. His career as an umpire in baseball spanned 4 decades. This dude's like the Jeff Triplett of baseball. You remember Jeff Triplett, the worst official in the history of the NFL? I used to cringe going into Sunday if Jeff Triplett was the lead official for the Saints game. He was absolutely god-awful. That's what Angel Hernandez is to Major League Baseball. Many consider him to be the worst umpire in the history of the game. When I was researching this story, I found an article in USA Today from April of this year. In a game between the Nationals and the Braves, Angel Hernandez missed 16 calls in 1 game. I'll show you a few examples of his incompetence. Roll the film.
Hear it in the outfield and infield.
Perfect fastball, another ball.
Compounding that with another walk, getting right after the next guy.
Yeah, there was concern when he walked Rosario leading
up for the 6th time tonight. And he takes low. There have been a ton of full counts.
There are going to be missed balls and strikes in baseball. It's part of the game. But missing 16 in 1 night, damn near 2 every inning, that level of incompetence can impact the end result of the game. You cannot have that level of incompetence at the major league level. Now, I would expect it at the little league level. I know me and Clay Travis differ in that opinion. But if you're that incompetent, you should not be an umpire in Major League Baseball. Yet somehow, Angel Hernandez has managed to embark on a 4-decade career of absolutely shitty umpiring. Now, you would think Angel Hernandez would be grateful. He would be appreciative. The average salary for an umpire in Major League Baseball, $235,000 a season. Now, I don't know about you, but I would gladly accept $235,000 to suck at my job. Sign me up. You need a shitty umpire. You need an umpire to blatantly miss calls, consistently argue with players and coaches. I'm your man. Angel Hernandez does all those things, but he's 60 years old. I'm only 37. You can get another 25, 30 years out of me. Instead of Angel Hernandez being grateful, he has taken the usual social justice warrior route of being bitter. Not only is he bitter, he's also accepted the role of victim. You see, Angel Hernandez is the victim of mythical racism. Oh, there's the magic R word again, racism. How I just love a nice bowl of racism in the morning. Pour a little bit of misogyny milk on it, you have yourself a nice bowl of woke cereal. Back in 2017, Angel Hernandez filed a mythical discrimination claim against Major League Baseball. And I call it mythical because last year it was thrown out of court for lack of evidence. He claims Major League Baseball manipulated umpire reviews to make minority umpires like himself look bad so they couldn't be promoted to crew chief. He said that baseball has a diversity issue when it comes to umpires. We don't have enough people of color leading the umpire crew. Now, he was mainly talking about himself. In 4 decades, Angel Hernandez has been passed over for promotion. According to him, it's because of his Cuban heritage. According to Joe Torre, it's because he sucks at his job, constantly argues with players and coaches, and displays behavior that proves he's not a leader. Angel Hernandez claims he always receives glowing midseason reviews, but when it comes time for promotion, Major League Baseball alters their reviews to make him look bad. If anything, they were altering your midseason reviews to make you look good. You fucking suck at your job. Major League Baseball, they addressed their diversity problem by promoting a black umpire and Latino umpire to crew chief. But it got me wondering, is there an actual diversity problem in baseball, or is the talent pool for umpires mostly white? So I did some research. 90% of umpires in Major League Baseball are white. So it stands to reason most of your lead umpires, crew chiefs, are going to be white. But KC, this proves the lack of diversity. Does it? Does it? Is baseball actively discriminating against hiring minority umpires, or are there not many minority umpires in the United States to choose from? So I looked up those numbers. Nearly 80% of baseball umpires throughout the country are white. But let me show you something interesting. Check out the pay disparity between white umpires and minority umpires. White umpires are paid substantially less than minorities. It's racism. Baseball is taking advantage of the white man. Let's file a lawsuit. No, it's simple math. Because there are so many white umpires compared to minorities, the pay scale will naturally tilt lower. If you have, for easy math, let's say you have 100 umpires. 80 of them are white, 20 are minority. 15 of the minorities making $60,000 a year. 15 whites are making $60,000 a year, but you have 50 of them making 40. It's gonna tilt the pay scale lower. It's not racism, it's simple math and common sense. If 90% of the umpires in Major League Baseball are white, the vast majority of the lead umpires are going to be white. Angel Hernandez is trying to take advantage of the culture. He knows the mainstream media is sympathetic to anyone not white. This poor Cuban man, for decades, he has endured discrimination from the evil white man. When the truth is, Angel Hernandez is not really qualified to be a Little League Baseball umpire. Let's go ahead and get into another victim, someone who represents the very worst my generation has to offer. Someone who is so disgustingly dishonest, so full of shit. If I had to name someone the ultimate victim, it would have to be Taylor Lorenz. This woman is vile, the epitome of everything wrong in the mainstream media. This is the same woman who exploited the 15-year-old daughter of Kellyanne Conway just to make Donald Trump look bad. Now just think about that for a second. A member of the media, an adult, contacting a minor to exploit her just to make a politician, the president, look bad. It caused a rift between Kellyanne Conway and her daughter that took years to repair. Taylor Lorenz is evil. A month or two ago, we talked about her exposing the name and home address of the creators behind the Libs of TikTok Twitter account. Now, just days before she did that, she victimized herself on MSNBC, talking about how horrifying social media can be.
I've had to remove every single social tie. I had severe PTSD from this. I contemplated suicide. It got really bad. You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. And it's so isolating.
And terrifying.
It's horrifying. I'm so sorry.
You're fine.
It's overwhelming. It's really hard.
Not 72 hours later, the same exact thing she is bitching and fake crying about on MSNBC, she did the same thing to the lady behind the Libs of TikTok account. Very few social justice warriors legitimately piss me off. We have a lot of fun with people like Bomani Jones, Steve Kerr, Stephen A. Smith, the ladies of the WNBA, but, they're just dumb. We make fun of them, but they don't really piss me off. It's just fun banter. Taylor Lorenz, she belongs in the same category as Keith Olbermann, Joy Reid, useless, evil motherfuckers. I know a lot of you followed the Johnny Depp trials. I received a lot of emails while it was going on asking for me to cover it. I just thought it was boring. I can't talk for 15 minutes about something I don't give a shit about. But there were a couple of channels here on YouTube that did cover the trial extensively and used it to grow their channel. Good for them. Taylor Lorenz, she wrote a smear piece in the Washington Post accusing these YouTubers of doctoring the evidence, doctoring the facts in favor of Johnny Depp. Because he's an evil white man and Amber Heard belongs in a protected class because she doesn't have a dick. The article was full of what the woke like to call misinformation. One of the biggest lies told by Taylor Lorenz, she claimed in the article that she reached out to these two YouTubers for comment on her lies and bullshit, and they refused to respond to her. Turns out, she never contacted them. Now remember, this is the same shitfuck that showed up at the front door of the creators of Libs of TikTok, but for some reason, she couldn't find the email, she couldn't find the phone number to these YouTubers, so she just lied, made something up, and said she couldn't reach them. Instead of owning up to her own mistake and accepting the blame, Taylor Lorenz blames her editor. It wasn't my fault. I'm the victim of miscommunication, misinformation, misaffirmation, misapplication. She then claims the stuff I go through is unfamiliar with most people in the media. Are you this fucking stupid? No one in the media can relate to Taylor Lorenz. No one else in the media lies, makes up bullshit stories. No one else in the media is hideous when they fake cry. No one else in the media is absolutely useless. You are the only one, Taylor Lorenz. I don't know her upbringing, so I don't want to say Taylor Lorenz is the product of bad parenting. It's entirely possible she had a great childhood, great parents, and was corrupted at woke you. But Taylor Lorenz is most definitely the product of her environment. This mentality of, I do nothing wrong, and when I am wrong, it's someone else's fault. This victim mentality, where you are constantly seeking sympathy while being a vile, disgusting piece of shit. Fuck Taylor Lorenz. I hope the Washington Post fires her for throwing her editor into the fire. I have absolutely no respect for her, but at least I could have respected her a little bit had she just owned up to her own mistake. Instead, she blames someone else. But let me know what you think. I know a lot of you like Major League Baseball, watch Major League Baseball every night. Give me your thoughts on Angel Hernandez. From everything I read about him, he is considered to be the worst umpire in baseball by far. Also, Taylor Lorenz. I don't even know what to say about that shit, fuck. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.